Becca, would you like to say something to the crowd?
No.
You wouldn't? Are you sure?
Becca, how old are you?
Say, I'm 3.
3.
And Becca, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a princess.
A princess?
Welcome back to Gleaning and Gathering. Today we are here with Rebecca on her 23rd birthday.
What? Crazy.
Yes, it's true. And what do you do on your 23rd birthday? You come and record a podcast,
Yes,
of course, because
naturally.
As one does.
As one does.
So today we've got this amazing set of hard-hitting questions for you.
Right. Yes.
And you are used to this. You've been doing this all your life.
Yes, I have.
In fact, I think we're going to introduce this podcast
That is
episode
so
with
exciting.
an interview from Rebecca when she was like 3 or 4 and said that she wanted to be a princess. If we can find that clip, we'll share it. But Becca, what are some of your core memories from your childhood? Tell us, what was it like?
What was it like? Okay, core memories from childhood. Probably a bunch of them would just be playing in general. Playing with the Castellino boys, playing in Indianapolis with all the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, out in the woods, doing all the things. Things that shaped me, though. Oh, I'm trying to think. My memory is terrible, so I just get pictures.
Well, what are some of those pictures?
Like, people. So Aunt Christy being with her, but I can't remember like specific memories. And maybe it's just because I've heard so many stories. That might be why I just get pictures. I don't know. But then there were a ton of people in Indianapolis, like Jen, being with Jen when we were really little. Yeah, she was one of our babysitters and she was fun. I don't know. I think all the people in Indy just shaped me in ways that I didn't even recognize, I didn't think would have an effect. It taught me how to be kind to people that like didn't act like me or didn't look like me. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Well,
Yeah.
I was just thinking about your birth as we were preparing for this podcast today, and the story of that.
It was wild.
It really was. I was in a play. We were producing the story of In His Steps. So the story by Charles Sheldon, What Would Jesus Do? And I was a main character in this, had these big parts that I was trying to share. And we were at the dress rehearsal. And I remember Mama walking around and around the Union Bible College gym. And she was so ready to have this baby. She was just ready. Well, she walked around enough that night that she went into labor. And so we drove from the dress rehearsal to the hospital, and that night they admitted her, and we got there and spent the night in labor, and the next morning you were born. And I remember the feeling with Kaylin's birth. It was so traumatic. Like her birth was just so chaotic and traumatic, and she ended up with shoulder dystocia and got stuck, and it was a very
She grew up lopsided.
Yeah, no, but it was a very traumatic birth, and yours wasn't. It was just very, very peaceful. And then the drama came after that.
Yeah.
Because right after you were born, there were complications, and Mama's blood pressure was dropping. We weren't quite sure what was going on, and as it turned out, the situation was she was losing blood internally, and they didn't realize it until it was almost too late, and her blood pressure bottomed out, and there was just a lot of drama after that. I remember being at the hospital. Of course, there was this uncertainty about what was going to go on with the play because that was scheduled for that night, and thankfully there was a massive snowstorm, and the play was rescheduled.
God knew. God has taken care of us in so many. Oh my.
Yes, he
Daddy
has.
decides to be the main character in a play on the night of my birth.
Yeah, well,
God just takes care of it.
That's not the only crazy situation.
Oh, no. No.
I remember with Esther, I guess it was. I drove to Colorado.
I do remember this. And we were left.
Yes, you were.
Left.
I was speaking at a missions convention. It was less than a week from Mama's due
Oh,
date.
yeah.
And I got back on
remember
Monday,
this.
and Esther was born on Friday. And it all worked out perfectly. But yes, that was a challenging time. I remember, though, on that particular trip, I drove to Colorado because I didn't want to get stuck with an airplane
Yeah.
and not be able to get back. So it was 22 hours out and back. But I went with another guy, and we took all the seats out of the minivan, put a bed in the back. And so one of us slept while the other one drove, and we drove straight through. And I thought, if I find out she's gone into labor, I can jump into the van and head for Indiana during the event. But thankfully that didn't happen. But yes, we've had all kinds of crazy situations. But the story of your birth and the early years that we had there in Indy, we were living on DeQuincy Street when you were born, were really some of the favorite memories that I have of our time in Indianapolis. There was a little playhouse in the backyard.
Yes. Oh, I thought it was massive.
Yeah.
It was. Was it massive?
No, it wasn't massive.
I thought it was.
But it was a beautiful little playhouse. And Alex Gifford came over and fixed that up for you. And it was just a wonderful time.
Yep.
But then we moved to the farm when you were almost 7. And that was a huge transition. Mm-hmm. What was it like to move from Indianapolis to the farm? Are there any memories of that for you?
I don't think so. Other than leaving all the people, I was sad about that. I remember, well, okay, everything is mixed up in these memories. Did we have like a goodbye Sunday?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, at Victory, I do remember that, I think. And just like, oh man, I'm not going to ever see these people again. And it obviously, that is not how it worked out. But yeah, there was just a sense of like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. But then also we had, as a kid, I was like, we have 114 acres to go and play on. This is so cool. And Grandma and Grandpa were here. And yeah, we had interns at the time and different people that, much to their chagrin, I'm sure, I thought were the coolest, and I could play with them all day. Yeah, there were just a bunch of exciting things happening. A lot of people came through the farm during those days. So it wasn't really, the transition wasn't really hard as much as it was exciting. Yeah. I guess. Yeah.
It was a big change though, to go from inner city Indianapolis.
Yeah. I don't think I realized though at the time how much. So I remember Mama talking about like going outside and it being so quiet and that being a little nerve-wracking, like what's going to come out of the dark or whatever. And I understand that now, moving back to Cincinnati from here, I'm like, oh my goodness, does it ever quiet down? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there are those kind of changes that as a 7-year-old, I really didn't process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved the farm. I do, I'm just thinking about it now. I do miss Indy. I did miss Indy a lot more because of the memories that we made there. So like the circle and the canal.
Yeah,
and
going to the canal for picnics.
And you go back to Indy now and it's not the same. Yeah, so there are things like that did, like when we left, like we left forever, and that's sad to think about. Yeah.
No, it was a different life. I really feel like that looking back, I'm glad that we did move when we did.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And I wanted all of you to grow up with a sense of place. Mm-hmm. And this farm has been our place for generations. And I'm glad that you've been able to grow up here and have that sense of connection to place. But I think that sense of loss, I remember driving out of Indianapolis there in January 2010 and just crying my eyes out, feeling like I'm leaving everything, everything that I've loved and cared about, and the feeling of loss that came with that. Yeah. You know, to come here to this little farm and to live in that little 2-bedroom trailer.
It was a wild time. Yeah.
It was a huge challenge.
Yeah.
But I'm very glad looking back that we did it.
And there was loss there, but also the community that we built while there kind of still goes on to this day.
Yeah, it does.
In a sense. So we went to Brother Gibson's funeral, and we joked that there was a victory section because there were a bunch of us that were sitting together from Victory Chapel, and obviously the Gibsons were there. So that was kind of a sweet moment. Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah. Or this is a family. This is a thing that we didn't lose.
Right. Well, and I
Yeah.
think that that's the part of victory that moves on today, even though there's not a Victory Chapel.
Right.
That spirit of the people and of the place and the memories that we share together still exists.
Yeah.
And so we talked about it while we were there, that we were going to have a Victory Chapel reunion.
We should, yeah.
Sam Stratton was like, "Yeah, I know a place where we could do that." So we're gonna pull that together. But related to that, what are some of the things
Yeah.
that you feel like we got right growing up as parents? What are the things that you feel like, that was good? What was it like to grow up Heimlich?
I think the intentionality was really beautiful. I didn't see it then, but I mean, the fact that we went mostly everywhere as a family, or you took at least one of us on a lot of your speaking trips. Yeah, or we always did sit down meals or like little things like that. I didn't realize, honestly, until I went to college, how abnormal that is. And then I started seeing other families like not do those things, and I mean, it's worked fine for them, but I just appreciated it in a different way. Yeah, there were things like that. And then, I don't know, there were just a lot of lessons that we learned through experiences. So shoving 6 of us, were there 6? No, there were only 5 of us kids in a car for, 3 weeks, where we drove to California and back.
That was a month, actually.
Oh, yeah, a month. Yeah, we just learned a lot. Like, you learned how to get along in a way that, yeah, you don't really have to. And none of us had phones at that time. So we had these little screens, 2 screens, I believe, one for the back seat, one for the front seat, and they were connected. So we could watch the same movie, which trying to decide on the same movie between 5 kids is a little stressful. But yeah, same with stories. We would listen to Odyssey or whatever. Anyway, things like that. Like you learned how to make it work. And yeah, we did. Yeah, I think there were a lot of moments, how do you say this? Times where we had to learn resilience. Just because Daddy decided to go to Colorado the week before Esther was born. And so Kaylin and I were faced with the potential of having to figure out how to get Mama, call somebody so Mama could get to the hospital or whatever. Like, obviously we didn't have to do that, but there was that moment of, will we? Anyway, there were many times as a kid that, yeah, you did it because you had to.
You were thrown into the deep end.
Yeah. But it was good because now that I'm an adult, like, I'm thrown into the deep end on a daily basis. And so if you don't learn how to sink or swim, then yeah. Well, if you don't learn how to swim, you will sink for sure. Anyway.
Yeah. And I think that, one person said, we're not raising kids, we're raising adults.
Yeah.
And I think too many times parents try to put their kids in bubble wrap and preserve that sense of, we don't want anything difficult to happen to them. Let's make sure we have thought through every detail ahead of time. And I'll look back on some of it. I remember taking Kaylin with me to Detroit and sending her out on the street in one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the United States to pass out invitations to our open house with a 70-something-year-old lady as her only companion. And I look back and I think, I don't know that sending her out as an 11-year-old to do that, really? I mean, was that wise?
See, and there were moments like that where it was, maybe questionable looking back on it. But also there were so many other moments
Yeah.
where you guys were like, no, we're not going to do this. So there were times where I wanted to go to a friend's house, or I wanted to go, sleepovers were a big thing that I wanted to do, and we never did them.
Yeah. By the way, parents, we don't do sleepovers.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
End of story. So
I see the wisdom now.
Yeah.
But as a kid, it was like, man, my parents are just, which obviously I didn't say that. There was a lot of respect there. So any children that are listening, yeah, respect is huge, please.
Yeah, but I understand. I mean, everybody else is doing it. Why can't we do it?
Right.
Why are we the odd family out?
Right.
But there were just those hard lines that we drew.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's part of being a parent, is that you just have to
draw the lines
where you think they should be drawn.
Yeah.
But what do you think that you would do differently with your family? So the sub question to this is, because of your experiences, what do you feel like that maybe we didn't quite get right, or didn't do the way that you would do it, maybe, if you had a family?
So if you had asked me this like 5 years ago, I could have given you a whole list, bullet points, color coded, all the things.
Yeah.
I know nothing. The older I'm getting, I'm 23, but genuinely, the more I'm realizing that I don't actually know anything. So I would probably just talk to more people. Not in contrast to what you guys did. You guys did talk to a lot of people. But as I'm raising my kids, or as I'm going to raise my kids, I just want different perspectives. So obviously I'm going to talk to you guys a lot, but also recognizing like families have blind spots, and I want to stand on the shoulders of my parents. I don't want to continue to fall into the same traps that they did.
Right.
So getting other perspectives and like, okay, what are some, yeah. And obviously as you guys have gotten older, you've seen things that you want to change.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that I can pinpoint anything specific.
You could have 5 years ago, but you couldn't now.
Well, because I was in reaction mode. I was like, oh, now I'm out of the house. I see all the things. Like, because you guys are kind of still raising several of the younger kids. So then I would come home and like, oh, this is what you need to change, and you're not doing this right, and whatever. Okay, Becca, they've been doing this for 20 years. I think
we have, but I recognize that we parent very differently.
That's true. Yeah, you
with
do.
Esther and Carissa than we did with you and Kaylin. Like, to a certain extent, youth is wasted on the young. Like, while we were with you and Kaylin, it's like, we're going to give you spankings for everything because, this is the way for. And there are a lot more conversations now than there are spankings in the younger two, much to the chagrin of the older set.
But yeah, ultimately I'm not responsible, and stepping back and seeing the wisdom in what you guys have done and are doing rather than just critiquing is something I'm working on.
Well, I think there are things that we learn as we go along in life. So speaking of that, you're now 23. What would you like for your 13-year-old self to know? What do you know at 23 that you wish you had known at 13?
Well, just before we started the podcast, I was like, well, what were we even doing at 13 when I was 13? Because I didn't remember. And yeah, it was a big year. We had just started going to Heartland. We had just started going to Mode Camp. And both of those things were incredibly shaping in very different ways. Like, Mode Camp was an anchor point, and honestly, I didn't know how anchoring it would be at that point. Obviously, Heartland was, I don't know. It was growing. Like, it grew me in ways that I never imagined. I don't know. I wish I could tell myself, this is so cliche, but to just chill out, calm down, it's okay. The things that feel super important today are not actually going to be important in the long run. Things that bothered me back then were things like grades.
Mm-hmm.
They may have should have bothered me a little bit more, but the curriculum that we were in, I just didn't do well at all. Like, I'm not a good test taker. Well, that's yeah. I've never been a good test taker, so I've worked on it. But in school, Kaylin was, and so it was just like, oh, Kaylin's always better than me. Well, now we're in life, and like, she is doing things that she is good at, and I am doing things that I am good at,
Right.
and they are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah, so I wish I had leaned into the things that I was good at back then, rather than trying to force myself to play sports or beat myself up over not being good at school or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. And then I think when it comes to family, I wish I had told myself to talk more. Because I internalized a lot then. I have dozens of journals from those years where I just like wrote out every feeling and thought and all the things, which was kind of good, especially because I started writing my journals as prayers. And so I was praying rather than just internalizing it all. But my relationship with like you and Mama kind of broke down on my end. Like, I just hid a lot. And then Kaylin kind of grew up and got out of herself, and she befriended me and then taught me how to communicate, which was good. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, there are lots of lessons that I wish I had learned.
Yeah.
But also, to the 23-year-old now, I mean, I'm glad. I have no regrets of anything that I did. I think I could have done things better, for sure. But also, like, teen years are just hard. And I had good people around me, and I leaned into them when I needed to. So, yeah, and I leaned into God a lot more than I felt like I did sometimes, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's on the horizon for you? What are you excited about?
I hate that question. I don't know. I think right now I've gotten to the point where I am happy with where I'm at. I'm thankful that God has put me in the place that he has.
And you're currently serving as the HR director
At GBS.
at God's Bible School and College.
Yeah.
So it means you're a little fish getting to swim in
In a huge pond.
a big ocean.
I am like a tadpole in a sea full of sharks.
Oh dear.
Really nice sharks, though.
Really nice sharks.
So it's exciting.
By the way, Miss V and company, if you're listening to this podcast,
I hope they don't. No, I don't mean they're the sharks. I mean like fellow HR directors.
okay, from other Bible colleges.
Yeah, and other Title IX coordinators and all the things that were not even Bible colleges.
Oh.
The ones I talk to are from like UC and NKU and
University of Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky University.
Yeah.
All the big ones.
Anyway.
Wow.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
No, I'm learning a lot, and I'm thankful that I'm where I'm at. I've been trying to figure out what's next for a long time, and I'm just tired of it. So,
you're graduating though in another year.
Yes, next spring.
With 2 degrees, right? Is that the plan?
Kind of. It's the BA in Integrative Studies from GBS, so it's kind of just a general, and then the BA in Business Management with a specialization in Human Resource Management through Indiana Wesleyan.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, I guess, technically 2 BAs. I don't really... It's just like an extra several credits to get the second one. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm happy to be graduating, happy with my job, all the things. But as far as what's next, I really don't know.
Right.
I know that God is going to bring good opportunities. And if nothing comes along after I graduate, I'm happy to stay at GBS and keep going.
Rodney Loper, you can hold her to that.
Or I'm happy to move on. Either one, I am good with whatever
Yeah.
God gives me.
Well, and you've got an entrepreneurial bent. And we've talked about
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah,
spinning up a coffee truck or doing something.
I would love to do that. I don't know how realistic all of that is. I have enough of a visionary mind, thanks to you, that I would love to do that kind of stuff and I can dream about it, but I also have enough of a practical mind to know that's probably not realistic. But maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I would love to do it, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Becca, I appreciate you taking time on your 23rd birthday to record this podcast with me.
Yeah, well, thank you.
And we're getting ready to have an amazing day. So, by the way, just so you know, everyone who's listening, we're not going to stay cooped up here in the studio for the rest of the day. We're getting ready to go have some incredible fun and eat some great food and have some wonderful time together. So, thanks for taking time. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning and Gathering.